evening, everyone, and welcome back to Rewind Reports.
It's time for another week of hard-hitting news.
I'm your co-host, Raven.
And I'm your other co-host, Blake, and it is time to unwind with Rewind Reports.
For our first topic today, DHS Secretary Kristi NOEM joined Chicago ICE raids where U.S. citizens were detained.
ICE performed a series of raids in Chicago suburbs with DHS Secretary Kristi NOEM personally joining agents. DHS claims that they are targeting violent offenders, but at least 2 U.S. citizens were detained in the raids alongside individuals with work permits. I need Kristi NOEM to go away. Not like, we're going to be on like a new no-fly list kind of thing, but they're getting the worst people for these jobs, as we've clearly seen in the last 250 days. How are you going to say you're going to do all these ICE raids and then you don't even know who you're going for?
And that's the thing, because I feel like American citizens especially should not be subjected to any of this behavior.
It's a blood hunt. That's all it is. It's a blood hunt. They're doing power moves. That's all they're doing. Because what I read from this story is Kristi NOEM is out here joining a 5:30 a.m. surprise, hello, we're here. There was helicopters, there was sirens, there was all this stupid stuff, and she's getting out people that once again we probably don't even need to get.
Yeah, and 2 out of 4 people were U.S. citizens. One man even said he was just glad he had his ID on him, child, because they wouldn't know. They weren't checking.
This is my thing. It's like they're shooting in the dark. They're like, boom, who do we get?
Exactly.
And there's no reason. Also, this is the lady who shot her dog.
Is it really?
Yes, Kristi NOEM is the one who shot her dog because she was like, well, he was giving out there.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Jeez.
So you want to talk about somebody who's out for blood, let me tell you what.
And the other crazy part about this is the families, when these people are being detained, the family members remain in the dark on where they are, who they're with, what the situation is. They just snatching your people up.
They literally
hide your kids.
It's so racist. It's so racist, it's not even funny. You are not seeing them bust up into people from Sweden's house.
That part. They're racially profiling. This
Yes.
is classic racial profiling for the sake of protecting the country from what? U.S. citizens? That doesn't make any sense.
No, they're saying, you look Latinx, and we're going to get you because we think that you're the bad person.
Exactly.
I grew up in that world where there's anybody who looks remotely Latin, they could be from Iran, they could be from Iraq or whatever, and it's so you're just being ugly. And also you're saying all people look the same.
That's true. And people honestly just don't know what to do.
No, exactly. And they say they're going after violent criminals. Mary, who have you gotten that is actually bad?
That's the real tea.
Give us the report, because we're seeing fake stuff on Telegram and True Social. Mm-hmm. But who are you actually going after? Because all I'm seeing are a lot of people who maybe work at restaurants, who work at the bank. Mm-hmm. People are getting torn apart from their families, and they are out here doing their honest work. But you're saying it's because they're stealing from the taxpayer.
And
or whatever.
Listen, the American dream has to be real for everyone.
Not Swedish people who are here to write pop songs. To continue that note, U.S. citizens are being swept up in ICE raids.
Across the country, U.S. citizens, including veterans, students, and even children, are being detained in ICE and Border Patrol raids. Despite proof of citizenship, many endure days or weeks in custody, lost jobs, or face trauma and humiliations. This is going so fast! Did you hear me trying?
Welcome to Rewind Reports. Okay, girl, hit it.
Across the country, U.S. citizens, including veterans, students, and even children, are being detained in ICE and Border Patrol raids. Despite proof of citizenship, many endure days or weeks in custody, lost jobs, or face trauma and humiliation. Raids have extended into the neighborhood, workplaces, schools, and even houses of worship, and threatening the rights of citizens.
You said more than I could ever say.
Because I be knowing.
Let's talk about some of the youth and families that have been swept away in ICE raids. We've got Jose Hermosillo, a 19-year-old citizen, was held nearly 10 days after Border Patrol ignored his repeated claims of citizenship.
Mm-hmm. You got the Merlot's children. 4 U.S.-born siblings were detained for almost 2 weeks and nearly deported before a federal judge had to intervene.
An L.A. high schooler with disabilities was handcuffed at gunpoint outside of school.
And Kenny Lainez Ambrosio, 18 years old, filmed his arrest as officer told him, "You've got no right."
And let's talk about this. You have Miranda rights.
Okay,
Especially
Miranda.
if you are a citizen, you have the right to remain silent.
Miranda Priestley, Miranda from Sex and the City, all the Mirandas.
Miranda from Lizzie McGuire.
Miranda sings.
You can call any of them.
I think we off her though. Miranda
Yeah, we're
sings.
off. Don't call Miranda sings.
Sorry.
Yeah, because he's barely 18, so. Anyways, you've got your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you can and say will be held against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will afford one for you. Don't ask me how I know these so well.
It sounds like you've been in a big house.
Clink, clink. Yes.
If U.S. citizens, including veterans, teenagers, and children, can be handcuffed, jailed, or nearly deported, then honestly, nobody is safe.
Well, we're forgetting about the LA raids as well, where people were just getting swept up like they were just mopping up into a broom. Not saying that people are trash or dust or anything like that. It's a metaphor, Daddy.
For real.
But I'm telling you, you're getting all these people in raids, and then they don't know what to do with them. And instead of saying you can go back, they're just keeping these people there. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And really, it's just a huge misuse of power. ICE and CBP's broad sweeps are not just about immigration status. They are sweeping up our neighbors and fellow citizens, creating fear and distrust. Back to the sweeps.
Let's talk about real patriotism,
Sweeps and swopes.
Yeah, sweeps and swopes. Being a patriot, what is it? This land is your land. This land is my land. From California, LA, to the New York Islands. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. And guess what?
As I was walking.
Not you wheezing like a squeeze toy. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this. You've got people on all sides of the country that are coming here. They are doing the right thing. They are on HR1 visas. They are doing all these things to get here as we would like to classify it in the right way. We're not even talking about people seeking asylum or getting out of somewhere that is like devastating. And you've got these people that have to go through so much red tape that even when they are doing it in the right way, air quotes again,
Hallelujah.
You will not let them in. You are consistently moving the goalposts for people that you don't like, and it is wrong.
Citizenship no longer ensures anyone's safety. And that's the part, too, that I think we really need to sink in our head. If they can do this to them, they can do this to us.
They are trying to get rid of Rosie O'Donnell because she said something that Trump didn't like. So what is she going to be, ice-rated next? For what? Let's move on.
Moving on.
No, because I'm getting pissed off. Okay. This is why we don't do news. This is why we do a podcast. Let's pick it up. Never mind.
Nope. In an effort to appear less racist, Trump sends troops to the only predominantly white liberal city he could think of, Portland.
The National Guard will be deployed to Portland, Oregon for the next 2 months following an order by U.S. President Donald Trump. At least 200 National Guard members will be deployed to the city to protect federal property where protests are occurring and likely to occur, according to a memo by U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Sunday. The Attorney General Dan Rayfield is not pleased with the news.
Now, all of this, because he wants to protect or attempt to protect ICE facilities.
As we've also talked about on our podcast, Rewind the Podcast, airing every Wednesday on all platforms, audio and on YouTube, the National Guard is going in and then they're twiddling their thumbs.
Right.
Alexa, play Sabrina Carpenter twiddling them thumbs. All they're doing is standing out there, and they've even gotten to the point where they're reporting that on, like, real news.
We really think that people in Portland gonna nuck if you buck like that?
No.
Like, they're not, like, they high. They got legal marijuana. It's the calmest place on earth, probably.
And no shade to people out there who listen to us in Portland. I've worked in activation at a festival with people from Portland. The laziest mother I have ever had the chance of working with.
Allegedly.
No, people in Portland, this does not go to you, but they did not represent your city well, and you should find them, and because they were the laziest mofos that I have ever had the displeasure of working with, and I'm still mad about it, and you're in my burn book.
Trump has been accused of only sending troops to predominantly black places. Do we think that this is an attempt for him to look less racist, or do you think he, at this point, even cares about how he appears?
No, I think he's probably got a huge board in the White House that says blacks, drugs, and then probably Latinx, but it probably says something a little more aggressive than that. And he just picks out the cities that you feel probably have that mostly on somewhere. Because everybody thinks that Portland is essentially a city where you go to have a tent city to have drugs or to, badge out at the Voodoo Donuts.
Right. Aren't the ICE people for that? Like, aren't they in the day job?
Not to make us not sound informed, or is ICE and Border Patrol two different things?
Yeah.
Because I've seen raids where Border Patrol is somewhere that is nowhere close to a border. Let's talk about it.
Which makes border control. Very confusing.
Literally. Also, again, only the southern border. Ain't nobody up there in North Dakota getting raided.
That's true.
That we know of. It's not in our little paper.
Comment below if they see it.
If you're in North Dakota and they're getting you, let us know.
Moving on along.
Moving on along. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erika, calls for forgiveness at Charlie Trump. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erika, has called for forgiveness at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
In stark contrast, President Trump, speaking afterward, rejected Erika's stance, saying he hates his political opponent and does not wish good on them. While he could have embraced this call to forgiveness and used it as a moment to unify the country, he chose instead to double down on division.
Let's go back to last week when
Back
I
to
said...
the beginning.
Now, don't you get me started on Hillary Duff, because I'm going to sing other songs. The little boy singing... Okay, let's go back to last week when people on both sides of the political aisle were calling for no political violence, and Trump was like, yeah, no, it's the Democrats, it's over there and over there. Once again, in a moment where he could step back and say, we do need to unify, where people were saying at this memorial that Jesus was being praised, that the name was lifted on high. He gets up there in the midst of all this, wants to talk about he doesn't like his political opponents, and he found a cure for autism. Stay tuned, big things coming. Announcement for the announcement.
I think that we, as the American people, have given positive reinforcement to his bad behavior. The only reason I believe, in my very humble opinion as a newscaster, that he was elected is because he sowed seeds of division. This is him doubling down on what works for him, because time and time again he's shown that he does not care about violence and us being harmed. He cares about his approval ratings, how things look for him. And honestly, I don't want to be conspiracy, but the behavior is reminiscent of a president who's looking to run.
To run?
Again.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think he's running. During the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk addressed the crowd with a message rooted in the teachings of Christ. She said she forgives his killer, saying, the answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us. I just want to go on record by saying right now, we are reading bullet points from this news. There are people who feel that this whole memorial was just whack in general. And I do want to say that. And I do want that to be out there, because some people are saying it's still a setup for people who don't like Charlie Kirk and they're trying to martyr him. Regardless of that, there are teachings of Christ that are teachings of love, grace, forgiveness, and those are the things I want to compound on. As someone who is saying these words that, from her point of view, she truly believes them, I think that is a great message to give to somebody who has truly hurt you in the deepest way. Now, once again, Donald Trump, who claims to be a Christian man, sells Trump Bibles, and all of these things out here is saying directly things against what a Christian should believe in this situation. He's saying, I don't support my opponent. I don't think we should come together. And the people who voted for him, who really love him, don't even see it as, you're not following something biblical. They're saying, he's just saying it like it needs to be told, and we've been needing this in our country because everybody's too political. Mary, you didn't graduate 8th grade. But please tell me how he's going to get us all together. Finally, young men have been posting on the popular social media platform TikTok, coming out as alt-left.
Young people who identify as liberals have taken to social media to lament on how difficult dating has become in this very polarizing political climate. Millennial and Gen Z women in particular have come out in droves to declare their adoration for men who appear to be conservative from a physical standpoint, but vote blue.
Let me tell you about the people who are liberal men. First of all, as a gay, hello, hi. Hot.
Okay.
Hot.
Okay, I have a question.
Hot, yes.
Are liberal men hotter than conservative men?
Yes.
You think?
Yes, because we have seen time and time again, especially as you look at, Mar-a-Lago face, Republican people who age, okay, I'm not going to be a Donald Trump and say that this whole party is associated with hate and all that kind of stuff. People who have hateful values, it shows on their face, which is why they gotta, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say I was in the whole of TikTok looking at these gorgeous men. Also, the girlies were thirsty in the comments. Is this the new age of dating? From a political dating standpoint, do you think people right now are more keen on knowing who you voted for from the beginning?
I think so, and I honestly think that's a good thing, because so many people say they want to fall in love, and then after they get married, they want to talk about personal or religious beliefs, money beliefs, and then political beliefs. And it's like, Mary, you're already in it.
That's
Which
true.
again, I'm not saying I'm against divorce or anything like that, but you are committing your whole life to this person, and then suddenly 3 months in, on the 3-month anniversary of your wedding, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm a Republican, and you're like, what?
Yeah. At this point, I think younger people, especially we're starting there.
Because we're not going to waste our time.
Who did you vote for?
Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? What do you believe?
Yeah.
And how wild are these beliefs?
And also, it's a good way to not waste your time. As a woman of a certain age, I'm 35. I don't have time.
No, you're not.
I'll be 35 soon.
I was like, don't lie to the people.
Okay, I'm 34. My birthday is in April.
Literally.
But I'm almost 35, and I don't have time to be wasting.
You see these men, they're hot. You got the bisexual men. You got these men. Because here's the thing, like, okay, like log cabin Republicans, no shade. They're all little.
But I will say, there is a type.
It's given Robin Williams getting pulled back in Miss Doubtfire.
As a Southern woman, there is a certain je ne sais quoi about like a good country, thick Southern man. But when they're liberal, it's like even hotter.
When you say everybody has equal rights, Mama, I'll open my legs on camera. Like, that is the real tea.
News.
Well, with all that being said, in final news, I'm still too old to audition for American Idol.
And I never wanted to audition for American Idol.
She's more of a voice type of gal, if you know what I mean. With all that being said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rewind Reports. Remember, you are the ones who truly keep the world spinning.
Thank you so much. I'm Raven Dawson.
I'm Blake Rackley.
And we'll see you next time.